Today's video is going to be how to make this crocheted bun cover, hair bun. Great for ballet or just everyday wear. You will need some elastic to go into this part here. And you're going to need some yarn of your choice with your recommended crochet hook and also a sewing needle to sew in your ends. Hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. First of all, we're going to chain 5. Then we're going to join to the first chain with a slip stitch. Then we are going to chain 4. Then we're going to do one more chain. The chain 4 counts as our first stitch and the extra chain is our chain 1. And we're going to wrap our yarn twice around our hook, go into the centre, and we're going to complete a treble crochet. So it's pulling up a loop, you've got 4 on your hook, yarning over, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2, chain 1. Wrapping your hook twice, going into the middle, yarning over, pull up a loop. We have 4 in our hook, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2, and chain 1. We're going to repeat that all the way around till we have 12 stitches. And our first chain 4 that we did counted as our first stitch. So just work your way around until you have 12 stitches. So after we've completed our 12 stitches, the chain there counts as our first one, and we've got a chain 1 in between each. We're going to slip stitch to the 4th chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the slip stitch. And now we're going to slip stitch into this chain space here. We're going to be working a chain 4 and then working a treble, so that's wrapping twice, going into the same space and working your treble stitch. We're going to chain 1, and in each space around we are going to be working 2 trebles and a chain 1. And that, there we go, and a chain 1. That's wrapping twice, going into the next gap, working 2 trebles and a chain 1. So repeat that all the way around. Depending on how much hair that you have to cover up, this might be big enough and you can continue on without increasing. But if you need to do another round, just continue with this next round and then we'll continue on without increasing. So if you don't need to do another round, you can just watch this one or fast forward it till we get to the next one. I'd recommend probably just watching this so you know where the round ends. So what we want to do, we want to chain up 4. And then we're going back into that same space, working a treble, so that's wrapping twice, back into that same space, working our treble. Now we want to chain 2. We're going to wrap our yarn twice, go skip this space, skip that space, go into this next one, and doing it properly, completing your treble. So missing the next one, go into the next. See if your tension lets go, the stitches just fall off. Plus I'm working over my camera, so it's a bit unnatural. So chaining 2, wrapping our yarn twice, skipping this space, going into the next one, working our treble, and then working another one straight into that same space, chaining 2, wrapping twice, missing the next gap because we just worked into there, missing the next gap into the next one, finishing off our treble stitch, working another treble into that same space, and then chaining 2, wrapping our yarn twice, skipping the next space, going into the next, working your treble stitch, working another one into the same space, and then chaining 2. And as we go around, it's going to start to increase. It is going to curve over a little bit, as you can see, but that's fine because you're going to be putting your hair in there, so you're going to want it to curve over a little bit. So continuing on, we've just done a chain 2, wrapping our yarn twice. We're skipping the next gap, going into the next one for 2 trebles. Chaining 2, skipping a gap, going into the next for 2 trebles. And you are going to work this all the way around until you get to the end of the round. So I've just done my chain 2 and I'm back to the beginning. We're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 4. So now we shouldn't really need any more rows of increase unless you've used like super duper thin yarn. So now we want to slip stitch into this gap here because we were working out of that gap. So what we're going to do is continue in chain 4, continue with exactly the same as what we did in the last round. So it was a chain 4 and then a treble into the same space, a chain 2, working a treble into this space here. We work 2 trebles into that same space, so that's one more. Chain 2, working a treble in between these 2 stitches here, not into that gap. So we skip the gap, go into the next one, work 2 trebles, chain 2, skip the gap, just worked into here, skipping that one, going into the next one, chaining 2 and working our trebles into not this gap, we skipped that one into there, and just continue that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. So I've just done my chain 2 and I'm slip stitching into the top of the chain there to finish off our round. So there we go. I think that's plenty big enough. I'm actually going to model this on my hair and I have a heap of it, so I'm thinking it's going to fit in there. So now what we want to do, just to finish it off, I'm going to work 1 row of half double crochet. You can work as many as you want. And we're just going to do a chain 1 and just work into the gaps, not into the stitches. So one into the space in there, and where we have our chain 2 space we're going to work 2 half doubles, and then into the space between the stitches we'll just work 1, 2 into there, 1 into here, 2 into the next space, and continue that all the way around. And then we just want to slip stitch into the beginning to finish off. Do a chain and then trim it off. Pulling through and then just sew in your ends. And now what you want to do is grab some elastic, or you could thread a piece of ribbon through here and just use that as your tie off. I reckon that'll look gorgeous as well. And all that's left to do is to try it on. Hi guys, so as you can see I haven't put any elastic in it yet. I've just used some bobby pins to try and hold it in place so you guys get an idea of what it looks like. It brings back memories of going to ballet and having your hair in a bun, which I have not done for about 25 years. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share on our Facebook page or make a video response. Now I did this without looking in the mirror, as you can tell. So I hope you guys had fun making this, and enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and happy crochet.